respondent, you ask that mostly they have, some actually they have similar reasons, but some are having different reasons. Is that right? Yeah, meaning that every learner has their own, capability, in this case, English proficiency, and their own ambiguity. And then related to this, because of very individual, very personal, how will you then later, practice this or develop this or implement this TOA to teaching English proficiency to different kinds of students' characteristics?
Yeah, it should be test first, Prof, based on their achievement, and then will be do deep investigation to the learners differently through classifying their ability. So tolerance of ambiguity is classified based on their achievement, which one is high, TOA, moderate, and low. So the teaching preparation, the teaching material should be prepared frequently ambiguous situation for the high tolerance of ambiguity, because they like the ambiguity as desirable and challenge them cognitively and also psychomotoric.
All right. Then the last but not least, what is actually your next program? Yeah. How would you apply this or suggested this to anybody, to the stakeholders related to teaching English as a foreign language or a second language, related to English proficiency, dealing with learners TOA?
Yeah, introduce the tolerance of ambiguity to the stakeholders by publishing this article. Introduce the readers that the roles of tolerance of ambiguity is essential for learning as the problem solving, because especially for learning English as foreign language, the learners commonly face ambiguity because linguistic cues, because the learners of Indonesia commonly face the new things in English. So when the learners face the ambiguity or commonly known as difficulties, they are not frustrated, but they have to try to overcome, to make this, to control their mind, that the ambiguity is not the source of psychological trait, but as the way to improve or to encourage our critical thinking to be creative learners.
All right, good. Thank you. Okay, I think that's all. I would like again to say good luck to Ibu Yu, Bu Duba. Thank you very much, Pak Direktur.
Baik, terima kasih Bapak Dr. Rahmat Hussein. Selanjutnya kita beri kesempatan kepada Dewan Guru Besar. Bapak Ibu Dewan Guru Besar yang hadir, silakan. Jika tidak ada, saya mau memastikan dulu sama Ibu Dumaris ya.
Ya,
Dumaris. Apakah pelepelan TOA ini sudah ada secara standar, secara teori sebelumnya?
Pelevelan TOA ada, saya temukan kemarin dalam satu penelitian yang menyatakan ada intake level, proper level, dan ada accommodation level, Prof.
3 level?
Ya, Prof.
Anda kan mengatakan temuan riset ini bahwa mahasiswa no-mention itu level high ya.
Ya, Prof.
Apakah cukup 3 level itu mengklasifikasi seluruh mahasiswa itu? Apakah perlu pelepelan ini diperluas atau dipersempit atau diperhalus? Silakan.
Sebaiknya pelevelan ini boleh ditambah lagi menurut hemat yang saya coba.
Kenapa itu yang Anda temukan? Itu baru berkelas dia. Jadi bukan bertanya what are the levels of TOA of TOEFL, tapi bagaimana membangun level baru ya, level baru, memperhalus, memperluas teori pelevelan TOA yang sudah ditemukan oleh para ahli sebelumnya. Setelah Anda menggambarkan, memperoleh data dari kondisi nyata real dari mahasiswa sebagai subjek riset, ya, Anda mengatakan bahwa 3 pelepelan yang sudah ada sebelumnya itu belum menaungi, masih perlu diperhalus, diperbaharui, ya, lewat riset ini. Apakah Anda sampai ke sana?
Tidak sampai, Prof, hanya masih melihat.
Itu yang tidak genap menurut saya sebagai kelas, sebagai doktor level 9, ya, sebagai produk inovasi teruji, ya, itu yang inter, multi, dan trans, ya, disipliner, itu level 9-nya harus diraih seperti itu. Jangan hanya melihat pada tingkat mana, pada level mana ini mahasiswa saya ini dalam TOA itu, tolerate of ambiguity, ya. Jadi jangan puas seorang dokter itu, jangan puas sampai hanya melihat itu artinya applied teori masih, ya. Padahal di tingkat S3 itu harus what contribute to theory. Lalu Anda di permasalahan kedua melihat korelasi, ya, keterkaitan atau pengaruh atau korelasi antara
Ambiguity dengan English
TOA,
proficiency.
ya, apakah signifikan itu korelasi TOA dengan English proficiency of TOEFL itu, ya.
Ya, Prof.
Jadi untuk itu sangat penting riset yang berkelanjutan, ya. Nah, ini harus diungkap di implikasi teori, ya. Demikian juga di implikasi praktisnya, bagaimana supaya dalam implementasi itu kira-kira apa kebijakan program yang mendesak agar pelepelan itu sendiri dapat diimplementasikan dan dikembangkan. Itu. Jadi pasca kita punya standar seperti itu, ya.
Baik, Prof.
Ini istilahnya tesis plus saja. Ya, menurut saya masih tesis plus, belum dissertation.
Baik, Prof. Nanti akan saya coba untuk.
Ini sebuah utang keilmuan yang harus Anda geluti, ya.
Baik, Prof.
Jangan, karena tadi Anda menekankan kebaruannya itu adanya dependensi dari pembelajar menanggapi stimuli-stimuli ambiguity itu, ya. Nah, itu bisa mengembangkan kondisi pelepelan itu. Supaya dia menjadi genap, ya. Jadi Anda bisa koreksi teori yang sudah ada sebelumnya dan melahirkan contribute teori yang baru, ya, yang lebih tajam, ya kan? Bagaimana misalnya Anderson itu mengubah taksonomi Bloom, ya, di pelepelan kognisi, lalu dia kembangkan lagi dalam pelepelan pengetahuan, ya, mulai dari fakta sampai metakognisi. Nah, jadi berubah. Jadi ada new taksonomi Bloom yang dilahirkan Anderson. Demikian banyak teori seperti itu, ya. Jadi jangan puas sampai hanya mengklasifikasi tingkat TOA dari mahasiswa itu.
Baik.
Berdasarkan pelepelan, bisa Anda mempertajam karakteristik di setiap level, ya, bisa. Bisa Anda menambah level baru, ya, karena ada hal kemampuan ability yang lebih, sehingga sampai 3 masih kurang cukup, ya, belum menaungi, ya, sehingga menambah level atau mempertajam di setiap level, mempertajam di setiap karakteristik level, ya. Nah, itu sudah nanti bisa memasuki bidang keilmuan Anda, ya. Karena saya orang matematik, saya pola pikirnya seperti itu, ya. Baik, selanjutnya kita serahkan kepada Bapak Co-Promotor Prof. Berlin Sibarani. Silakan.
Suaranya belum, Prof.
Terima kasih Bapak Direktur, Prof. Dr. Bornok Sinaga, atas reminding, pengingatan bahwa ini adalah sebuah disertasi dan harus ada kebaruan. Well, I think we still have the possibility of arriving at that novelty. First of all, I can say that the possibility is high for us to repair this in order to get some new or modifications of the category. As you mentioned in your dissertations, there are 3 levels of TOA, the intake level, and this is characterized by the student's ability to receive and accept the information. So this is the level 1, intake. While the second level is the tolerance of ambiguity paper level. This means that the students are able to hold the contradictory of incomplete information. So based on this one, what we mean by ambiguity is the ambiguity between what the students have and what are the informations obtained from the learning process. So they can accept the contradictory. And the third level is they can integrate new information with the existing schemata. These are the 3 categories. While in your research, you say that there are 4 levels in terms of score. So you have very high, and moderators and low. So in terms of descriptions, I think we can still identify this later, which one will belongs to intake and which one will belongs to tolerance of ambiguity papers levels, and which one is belong to moderators and which one is belongs to the level. And this is very logical because I think this theory is developed based on a research conducted to the learners of English as a first language, not English as a EFL learners. So this possibility of making this better to accommodate Pak Sinaga's comment just now. So I think we can do it later after this examination. Okay, now let me go into some a few questions. This is something like leading you to make some promotions of your findings. Your research say that the correlation between levels of TOA and the students' English proficiency, and we understand that the correlation should be conducted with the scores.
Yeah.
Okay, the scores. And that's why you get these coefficients of correlation. You don't correlate the levels as mentioned by the expert you quoted in your research. The three types of levels. If that is what you correlate, you should make it in a nominal data, not ordinal data like this. So the coefficient correlation says that 0.41. Am I right? Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell me what does it mean?
It means that the coefficient correlation between tolerance of ambiguity and English proficiency based on data analysis is poor because it means that TOA has a weak correlation into the success of English proficiency. It is possible influenced by other factors, Prof, not only TOA based on this result.
Yes, so TOA is only one factor that may affect the students' English proficiency. That is why this is low.
Yes.
Okay, so other factors may involve in that one. Okay, and now when you say that your students, some or most of your students, have high level of tolerance, that is 69.88. Can you tell me what makes some of the students have low tolerance of ambiguity and others have high tolerance of ambiguity and others have moderate? Do you have any idea why they are different in terms of levels?
Yeah, the difference tolerance of ambiguity for the learners can be influenced by individual variables, including TOA here, like learning style, personality type, motivation, and also cultural background, Prof.
What do you think of designing the materials, designing the teaching? So some materials which is too difficult for the students, the students might have very low TOA. They will abandon learning, they will stop learning because they have very low TOA. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, TOA